Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing well as this week is coming to an end and enjoying this Good Friday. And isn't that a great name for a day? Like when you really think about what that really means and how really connecting to this day being good is what really makes it so. So today I chose to just really make Friday really, really good. And I just have so much gratitude for the fact that even though I'm making Good Friday really, really good, that that every day of my life is really, really good. It might as well be called Good Monday, Good Tuesday, Good Wednesday, Good Thursday, Good Friday, Good Sunday, Saturday, Good Sunday. And anyway, I was just thinking about all of you and wanting to send you some support for the weekend as you go through, as you head into what for many people will be a lot of family time with, extended family and the general experience of what happens over the holidays. And I know it can be a different situation for everyone, and everybody's got different circumstances. But regardless, I wanted to just share some emotional support regarding family situations. And so one of the things is just really to recognize everyone that what happens where everyone's sort of dreading it and feeling overwhelmed and feeling anxious, what's going on is that you're going into essentially a repetitive pattern, right? The holidays themselves and the way that they come up on the calendar, the way that there's an entire, culture to everybody's holidays make it so that it starts to set off a wave of conditioned emotions in us. And so there once was a time for myself where even though, I have this really amazing family and people that I love very much and they love me, and we would all be get together for each holiday and celebrating. But quite honestly, as I have always joked about my family, I'm really from a group of very anxious people. And what that feels like, or what it used to feel like actually, is that the tension in the experiences of our families can just be so immense and so intense. And for me, I would, do everything I could to enjoy spending time with my family. And yet I would just be so emotionally triggered and then end up really emotionally drained. And that was that way for so long because I grew up with these people and it was just the same thing year after year and holiday after holiday. And the same anxiety just started to come up all the time, even as I went into my adulthood. And it just felt like this whole set of expectations and overwhelm and stress and struggle. And no matter what was being said, no matter what was happening in interactions, there was just this whole underworld of emotional stuff going on for everyone. And so, just like for everyone else, it used to just make me actually, quite honestly, really sad, because my greatest desire was not only to not be tense and anxious like everything around me, but it was that I really wanted to be connected. I really felt empty not being able to share my true self with people and have them ultimately share their true self with me. But what was going on all the time is that everybody was operating, saying one thing, but then having a whole emotional world of stress and upset and resentment and all of this stuff. And that just, I think that just continues on with most people's families in this day and age. And so as you go into this weekend, if you can just really recognize that what's really happening, no matter what it might look like, is that all of you who are part of a family system, you've ultimately been emotionally conditioned, right, to play different parts and roles and have all kinds of different responses and cues and signals and ways that there's this entire extensive kind of dynamic going on between each person and between the group of people. And what it is all these forms of energy, everybody's energies, everybody's emotions, they're all interacting. And all you have to know is that if you feel stress or you feel strain in that environment, it's because these are all really very much emotional stress patterns. And so even though those are going to go on and you're not here to control other people, because quite honestly, most people don't even know how to control themselves. And that's what we're here to do in this group, right? So even though that's all going on, and you may be dreading things, you may be bracing yourself, you may be like holding your breath and being tense your own self, if you can just recognize that everything is emotion and energy, and quite more specifically, everything is negative, everything that feels painful is negative emotion. It's because people, maybe including yourself, no matter what's going on, they're experiencing internally some form of negative emotion, something that somebody didn't do, or somebody, they're remembering stuff from the past, or all the resentments are there, all the stress of trying to do this stuff while you're tired from working the week. And all of this negative emotional stuff is going on. And it's not just, your family, it's the fact that most people in this world are conditioned to have negative emotions and focus on, most exclusively on negative emotions. Things like lack, things like things aren't the way they're supposed to be, so-and-so's not doing what they should do, you can't stand what somebody's saying or the way they're acting. All of that negative emotion that is happening is contagious. You absorb it, and it's very, very detrimental. So if you can just recognize that no matter what, you can see the whole field, right? The field of energy around you as there's either positive emotions happening and you feel the, connection to that, or there's negative emotions happening and you're being impacted by that. So your capacity to completely be immune to those negative emotions is entirely by what you do internally to focus solely on positive emotions. Focus solely on what it is that you want to experience, because you can literally be sitting in, right in the middle of the dining table with 17 people around you thinking negative thoughts, and they're not even recognizing that, because emotional conditioning is something that is so underneath the surface in a lot of ways. But as you're sitting there and you recognize all of this stuff is going on around you, you have the power to internally decide what you want to feel, what you want to focus on, and you get to have that experience no matter what is going on around you. And I don't care what people say about being emotionally sensitive and all of those things. The power and the responsibility lies with you to be able to truly, no matter what is in your external environment, bring your mind and yourself back to focusing on what you want to focus on. So gratitude for everything that this day is about, gratitude for everything that's been provided, gratitude for anything and everything that you can think of, focusing on everything that makes you feel good, focusing on everything about each person that you can appreciate, focusing on anything at all that you can appreciate is a way to build emotional internal strength. And that practice is something that if you really want to develop emotional strength and have that be a major part of your repertoire for life, then the best way to practice it is right in the belly of the beast. So it's not dissimilar to why over the years when people would say, oh, I'm gonna wait till after the holidays until I get my act together. And we've helped so many people by realizing that no, you want to actually get your life together, get yourself together while you go through the holidays, because then you're right in the intensity of all of that emotional condition, all those emotional conditions, while you're making your practice of gaining emotional strength. So it's like, if you're running in high altitude and you're going to gain huge lung capacity, so that then when you're running where it's different altitude, it's like nothing. Or like my basketball coach, both of them in high school and in college, they used to turn up the heat in the gym. So we would practice in this exceptionally high heat. And both my coaches in high school and college were people that believed that if we practiced in the most extreme, difficult conditions, then when we went to other people's gyms, then we would have a whole other level of fitness than they had. And it worked. It worked in both high school and college. And it was not enjoyable to be training and conditioning always when he first was, we would start the season and be coming back and we'd be a little out of shape. And we would be, he'd be turning up the gas and we'd be sweating like crazy. But come game time, when everything really counted, it was like nothing to be able to just like mop up the floor with people. And it's no different than when you're going into a family situation, a holiday situation, or really quite honestly, any situation that feels intense to you. If you take it as an amazing challenge and an opportunity, you see it completely differently as a way to develop yourself and grow yourself through the most difficult emotional conditions around you. And you put your focus on how you want to be, who you want to be, how you want to feel, and gaining emotional strength by practicing, right as there's all this resistance to you feeling good, right? Other people feeling badly around you creates a resistance to you feeling good. So as you're fighting through that and breaking through that, you even feel even more exceptional as a person. So I really want to challenge everybody this weekend, and even if you're not celebrating Easter or whatever your situation might be or whatever your priorities are this weekend or opportunities, to recognize that in any situation that you're in, especially when something seems like it might be more overwhelming or have more emotional static, I guess, to it, is that you can step up and take that challenge with yourself and practice gaining emotional strength when you are right in the middle of something that could emotionally weaken you. So even though it takes us, a few months to get people totally in complete emotional shape for the rest of their life, I'm going to give you a little thing to focus on this weekend and take this forward with you as just a small part of something that you can do to make a change. And what that is that in case it's kind of challenging in the midst of all kinds of different family stuff going on, and you're not sure what to focus on or how to implement what I'm saying, I just want you to think of the word strength. And so in every single moment that you can think of where your mind might be wandering to some irritation with somebody or some overwhelm or feeling reactive to something or feeling less than or whatever it is that are your auto responses, your reactive auto responses, I just want you to think of the word strength. And I want you to think of your self strengthening from the inside out. And no matter what intensity level, no matter how high the heat gets, no matter how exhausted you might feel, recognize that exhaustion is not from what you're doing. It never is from what we're doing. Exhaustion is from how we feel in what we're doing. And so if you change how you feel in what you're doing, you're going to unlock a lot of energy. You're going to be able to make the most of that situation. You're going to be able to maximize and live your full potential in these moments. And you're going to grow your emotional capacity. And you can use this for anything, right? The word strength, because otherwise what's happening is you're getting weak. And you're breaking down. So the word strength, just take that as a challenge. And I look forward to everybody checking in and letting me know how they did with using that little strategy. So wishing you all the best. I'll be looking forward to seeing you all after the weekend, sharing more with you about how you can gain emotional strength for the rest of your life. And quite honestly, enjoy what I do, which is that there's no family situation, there's no holiday, there's really no situation that my emotional strength and all the emotional fitness that I've developed can't, well, let me just say this. I'm not saying this as clear as I want to. Gaining emotional strength and making that the greatest practice of my life and of course it's what I teach other people, has made it so there's just no situation, there's no circumstance, there's no person, there's no anything, there's no weather, there's no development that can ever happen, that can ever dissuade me, discourage me, or keep me from focusing on exactly what it is that I want to feel in that moment, what I want to create, what I want to make happen. And when you have that level of immunity to everything in the external environment, then there's nothing in the way of whatever you want to make happen. So I encourage you all to really test these strategies out and set yourself maybe a goal of being able to go into any family situation and absolutely be powerfully emotionally strong and enjoy the heck out of it so it can actually be a real celebration. All right, everyone, have a great one. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.